All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing I want to talk about is that wild BSV pump. And a lot of articles are going around and people tweeting this Chinese message, which is quite interesting and actually not really surprising at all for BSV. So scammers boost BSV price with fake Satoshi confirmation. Scammers boosted the price of BSV Wednesday by publishing a fake news alert purporting to show that BSV's creator is also Bitcoin's. Of course, like again, not particularly surprising. Masquerading as the Chinese news site Coinbull, the bogus alert claimed that Craig Wright had transferred Bitcoin from the so-called Satoshi wallets to prove his identity. The result, a $60 boost in the price of Bitcoin SV in less than 10 hours. Really great stuff, and just really good. Love it. And I was actually reading the tweets from Calvin. Craig Wright's who Craig Wright sort of stepped down from social media because it was just definitely not good for marketing, right? Because nobody likes him. So he's just like, you know what? You can lie for me, Calvin. And he's like, sure, I'll do that for a bunch of money. Really great. And I was actually on his Twitter earlier, and all the BSV supporting messages is just so deeply cringe. It's clearly just, you can just go bag holder, bag holder, bag holder, bag holder down the list, and nobody can be serious about liking BSV. I mean, maybe you like these gains, right? Maybe you like the gains, good stuff, but you can't actually be serious and think it's the real Bitcoin. I think people just post that. Either they're just bots or they're people that literally just have Bitcoin SV and they think that by like posting on Twitter, which actually probably is effective, that it's the real Bitcoin, that it's going to raise the price. And hey, welcome to crypto. That's the world we live in. So Wright, who led the fork that created Bitcoin SV, claims that he's Satoshi, but it's got widespread skepticism. Yeah, to say the least. It's kind of an understatement. So if he was really Satoshi, critics said that he'd control the private keys to the wallets that mined the first Bitcoin, and thus only needs to move some of those coins to settle the matter. Hence, the alert reads, apparently in Chinese, CSW transferred 50k BTC from the biggest BTC wallet to Binance, which confirmed he is the real Satoshi. As such, CZ will relist BSV and make an official apology on Twitter. And apparently that is what helps pump Bitcoin SV. Just something like this. That's all it takes, guys. That's it. That's it. So moving on to more BSV news here. Calvin Ayre was apparently on Bloomberg somewhat recently. And literally what Bloomberg titled this video is that Calvin Ayre, invest in Bitcoin SV, not other crypto tokens. And I love watching these institutional or media talking about crypto, because most of them have no idea. Like, it'll be like four people at a table and they're like so crypto's up like 20%, guys, what do you think about it? And they're like, oh, I don't know, I don't touch this stuff, but like, let's talk about it. At the very least they could hire just like four people who have invested in crypto, like off the street. I mean, that would literally be better than some of these people that they bring on the news who have no business talking about crypto. Or maybe they do, but they just haven't bothered to do any research, and you can clearly tell that none of them own it or have ever bought it, sent it, hodled it, mined it, anything like that. Like, I would literally be better on that panel. I could be like, well, I can at least talk about crypto, right? Because I use it every day. That would be better. So you could just hear the naivety in these first few seconds. You guys can look this up yourself. Just Google Calvin Ayre, invest in Bitcoin SV, and you'll find this not particularly hard, like literally the first result. But hear me out just for a second here.
Well, Calvin Ayre is now focused on cryptocurrencies after resolving a 5-year legal battle over a gambling business that he founded in the U.S. He's looking at opportunities in Bitcoin Cash and other digital currencies. He is the founder of the CoinGeek conference taking.
You can hear him like chuckle in the background after she says he's interested in Bitcoin Cash, and she's like, investing in cryptocurrencies. All these, oh, you kids and your Dan Fogelberg and your cryptocurrencies. So these people have no idea. And I watched some of this, and all he's talking about the whole time is Bitcoin SV and how it's going to take the entire market cap essentially of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now he does at the very least say that, well, Bitcoin for now is fine, but eventually people are going to realize that Bitcoin SV scales better. Fair enough. But if that's what you like, here's the thing. If you're like really going for a cryptocurrency that scales better and is, has faster transactions, lower fees, etc. There are way better cryptocurrencies for that than Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, any of the competing Bitcoins out there. That's not necessarily what Bitcoin is for. And if you think that Bitcoin SV is better because of that, you sort of miss a fundamental understanding of Bitcoin and what people are generally using it for. Not necessarily a day-to-day transaction to buy your cup of coffee. There are way better cryptocurrencies for that. Use other ones. Whereas Bitcoin is for a long-term deflationary sort of hodl, and slowly tech is adding on to it. So everybody's fine with Bitcoin SV scaling or Bitcoin Cash scaling and making the blocks bigger. But as soon as we talk about that for Bitcoin, we're like, oh, it's no longer the real Bitcoin. Right now we have SegWit, so it's not the real Bitcoin. Now we have Lightning Network, so it's not the real Bitcoin. So like other things moving into the future, thumbs up. Bitcoin moving into the future and getting new features, etc., thumbs down. So no wonder, everybody. Moving on. So Bitcoin SV, totally very scammy. If you hold it for the gains, I don't blame you, but it's not the real Bitcoin. Stop. So moving on here. Bitcoin is trading with a significant premium on Grayscale's investment trust. Now, I want to show you guys this article because this is sort of the future of cryptocurrency trading, and this is sort of like the beginning of institutionalization, and this is sort of why it's a bad thing and why I'm sort of against the institutionalization of crypto in terms of Wall Street coming in. It's very antithesis of crypto. It's sort of like a for the people, by the people, mine it yourself, use it for small transactions sort of thing, and it's sort of turning into this. So investors are paying a huge premium to buy into the current crypto bull run via the publicly traded Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust. Ooh, the GBTC. Sounds super professional. The share price of GBTC. Share price of GBTC, not BTC. Interesting. Is showing a premium of around 37% based on the amount of BTC in its reserves. This comes on the back of the firm's announcement that its fund is now holding over $2 billion worth of crypto. So, oh boy, we're buying shares in Grayscale. Not necessarily Bitcoin. You're not buying Bitcoin. The flagship product currently trades at $11.44 per share. Again, these are shares. This is sort of like stock now. This is luring people into something that isn't Bitcoin. Oh, and that's what the institutionalization of crypto is going to do. It's not going to be for you. It's not going to be for you. I said that right into the mic. You should have heard that. It's not going to be for you. No. It's going to be for the shareholders, which I guess are people technically, and the institution itself. In the same way that the corporatization of cryptocurrency will be coming sooner or later when Facebook's coin comes out and makes them billions of dollars, if it supposedly does. You think other corporations are going to sit idly by and go, hey, that Facebook, they made some crappy coin that basically is not a crypto in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they just slapped it on there on the table, and they made billions of dollars. Should we do that? And everybody at the shareholder table is going to go, no. We don't need to do that. We don't need to make billions of dollars for our shareholders and make our company look really good. You're crazy if you think that's not going to happen. So it puts the Bitcoin price above 11,600, which is a premium of 3,000 per coin. The publicly traded Bitcoin fund has recently been pushing its Drop Gold campaign to try and persuade more people to invest in its crypto products. They're trying to invest, dumb money. Exactly, dumb money is buying in based on the current price of $11.44 per share. Works out that if an investor buys one full Bitcoin using GPTC, it would cost considerably over $11,000. which if Bitcoin went to 55,000 or something like that, like everybody seems to think it will, after the halvening or somewhere around there, of course, we always have those very bullish random, $56,821.46. Don't forget that 46 cents on there. So again, they're pretty random, but either way, let's just say 55,000. Great. You paid 11,000 and went up to 55,000. You sell, great money. But again, these are just shares that are increasing in price, not necessarily your Bitcoin, which I mean it would along with the price of Bitcoin, but you paid a $3,000 premium due to the premium on the investment vehicle. So buying into this level of premium will most likely be labeled as dumb money, buying into the newly christened bull market for BTC. So as the publicly traded stock available on U.S.-based services like Ameritrade most likely represents the easiest way for FOMO investors to quickly get some exposure. Now, so along with, Ameritrade and E-Trade and those other stock markets, stock exchanges, essentially, that are going to be adding Bitcoin, I feel like that's sort of a good thing. At first, I was sort of against that, and I kind of called that institutionalization. But we have Coinbase, we have Kraken, we have Binance, we have Poloniex, we have Bitfinex, all exchanges. So why can't a stock exchange add Bitcoin? So I suppose, and that might get a lot of people that might have not otherwise gone off of that exchange. Maybe they just only like trading stock, and they're like, well, I don't trust these other exchanges. But now Bitcoin's on it, they see these gains and they buy in. That's a good thing. Now, some things I just don't like is like futures and just general like heavy Wall Street investment and things like Grayscale that make you pay $3,000 more per Bitcoin just so you can feel like you're buying stock or something. I don't understand why people would do this instead of just going. I feel like crypto has been out for so long now. If you don't know that you can just go on an exchange and buy $100 of it or buy $1,000 of it or whatever denomination that you would like to put into it, for the most part, where have you been exactly? And do you not know that Google and YouTube is a thing? I don't know. It's questions. So moving on here. Speaking of Facebook's coin and the corporatization of crypto, why Facebook's foray into crypto could be fruitless. Now, I kind of disagree with this article overall. It does raise some good points, though. So one thing I was saying is that it's the wrong demographic. So recent research suggests that Facebook's user base is shifting demographically. The latest report by research firm implies that Facebook's foray into crypto could be fruitless. So Facebook will be facing an uphill battle on multiple fronts, primarily starting from an aging user base whose knowledge of cryptocurrency likely to be near nil, which is true and not true. There's definitely a lot of aging individuals who are just fine in cryptocurrency, but it makes sense. The platform has lost its dominance in the U.S. teen market as numbers dwindle in favor of alternative social media like YouTube and Snapchat. Is YouTube really social media, though? Technically, I mean, you don't have like a profile, really. I mean, you can upload videos, I guess, but I don't know if I'd put that on there, really. I'd go with like more like Instagram, Snapchat, instead of YouTube and Snapchat. But either way, I digress. Teens that do use it are unlikely to be in the financial position to be loading up on Facebook stable coins either. And people can already send money with Facebook Messenger. It has apps tied to it that you can send people money. So why? Again, there is sort of a fundamental problem with cryptocurrency in a lot of ways. Now, for miners, it's totally fine. I don't really see this inherent problem. So if I'm running an ASIC and I make $100 worth of Bitcoin over the course of such and such, then I take that Bitcoin out and I got to spend it or sell it, right? And get some money or spend it and buy something. Great. But what I'm talking about is that there's this inherent spending problem of cryptocurrency. And let me point this out real quick. So if I wanted to send money on Facebook, why wouldn't I just whip out my debit card and send somebody money? And then it gets to their bank account. Boom, done, right? It's over. Why would I whip out my debit card and then buy stable coins and then give the stable coins out? Only in the fact that it might be convenient to, send it to somebody's post. I'm sure these are going to be available to like tip people. Like if you make a good funny meme, you put the dankest meme on Facebook today and somebody tips you one stable coin, like $1 or something like that. Like, great post, here's $1. That's kind of interesting. And the fact that you can, buy 20 bucks of it up front and then split it up individually, and instead of just, $1, $1, $1 with a debit card every single time. So that makes things easier, the tokenization. However, there's a problem in cryptocurrency overall. Is it like, why should I, if I want to buy something in Bitcoin, it's a lot of work. I have to first learn where to buy it. So I'd have to, sign up to an exchange, put money on the exchange, wait for it, then get the Bitcoin, buy the Bitcoin, then send the Bitcoin somewhere and wait for that, and then get my product. Whereas now, I mean, if I had the money to buy the Bitcoin in the first place, I could have just bought it outright with a debit or a credit card. Now, of course, buying into Bitcoin and letting it go up in price and then spending it, absolutely great. But we're talking like an on-demand spending is very difficult with cryptocurrency. Except when these debit cards come out that you can load cryptocurrency on and then spend it at the store. But these cards seem to be very short-lived. They come out for a while, and then for some reason they just shut down after a bit. That could have been 2018 working its, bear market magic. But either way. So some big name news outlets have compared global coin to Bitcoin, claiming that could possibly be a competitor. The two could not be more different, though. Bitcoin transactions can't be stopped as the blockchain is immutable. Facebook, like PayPal, will have full and total control over any funds deposited and converted to its new coin. Welcome to the corporatization of crypto. And I have to do like this because, in the future, we're going to start seeing many, many more things like this, which is sort of a feature that the world has already seen with digital tokens or coupons, etc. Accumulating Pepsi points, etc. And now they're going to be repackaged in the guise of a crypto coin. So you're going to see like Pepsi coin or Samsung coin or Nike coin. Every time you buy a pair of shoes, you might get some Nike coin that you could use for future purchases or something like that. Essentially just a coupon, essentially just reward points. And it's not going to be any different because that was sort of the argument when cryptocurrency first came out. Like, why use Bitcoin? Isn't that just like frequent flyer miles, essentially? And that's literally what people thought when crypto first came out. And turned out, no, not the case. And now these could be useful. Again, you buy like 25 bucks of them, and then you can split them up to each individual person. It's kind of like Twitch bits on Twitch, like the live streaming platform for anybody not familiar. You can go on there, you can spend 10 bucks and get 10 bucks in these digital little tokens that are not crypto in any way. And then I could give 50 out to this person, 50 out to that person, 50 out to that person. And it's not like I couldn't give 50 cents to each person with a debit card, but it would be a lot of work and a lot of fees to individually use my debit card just to give 50 cents out. And it takes a lot of work. Instead, I could just type it out, boom, give it to them. So that's about the only advantage something like this has. But this is not going to go up in value. It's not for you. It's not decentralized. You don't own it. It's the same thing as your credit card, essentially, just with maybe more convenience. So, with an aging user base and, the younger generation that is going to be essentially born into crypto, is really not logging on to Facebook these days. Everybody I know doesn't really use Facebook so much these days. Some people do, some people don't, but it is going downhill, and we all have to sort of admit that, especially after the whole, using your information debacle, that a lot of people didn't like that. So moving on to the next article here. Now, this article is like 5 days old, so I apologize. But for anybody that didn't happen to catch this, crypto exchange Binance prepares to add margin trading soon. So now you can lose all of your money on Binance in one fell swoop. Congratulations. I know, everybody's super excited. Binance, the world's most prominent crypto exchange, is close to adding a much anticipated margin trading feature to its services following weeks of speculation. And they tweeted confirmation of the upcoming feature in a screenshot that subtly teases the imminent arrival of margin trading options. Even after their $40 million hack. So dark mode or light mode, margin trading options. So I'm not sure what exactly they're going to do, like how much it's going to be. I doubt it's going to be like 100x like BitMEX. But eventually here, Binance is going to have margin trading, which lets users trade their balance as collateral to supersize their buying power, is seen as many as an important growth vector for crypto trading. Binance is often seen as the world's largest exchange, though it is currently ranked second according to CoinMarketCap data. but it pretty much is. Well, they usually say BitMEX because of the margin trading, the 100x margin trading on BitMEX, which is essentially somewhat not real in a way. But yeah, coming soon. But let me just give you some advice. Don't margin trade. Don't do that. Because here's the thing. On BitMEX, when everybody starts piling into longs, when everybody feels like the price is really going to start going up and exploding, everybody starts longing Bitcoin. And BitMEX on purpose will essentially just dump the price just a little bit and liquidate that. And they get all those liquidation fees. They make a lot of money. They make way more money with those liquidation fees than they do with actual real volume, with actual real trading fees. So, if you see that longing really high, a lot of people just actually start shorting because there's so much manipulation that turns out a lot of times it's just going to dip. But again, you never know which way it's going to go. It's impossible. So don't do it. It's a great way to lose all your money. So moving on to kind of an interesting article. Good old McAfee. You can never get away from that in crypto news. John McAfee. Bitcoin time travel is proof that Bitcoin will hit 1 million. Oh, John McAfee. So John McAfee will take any help he can get in his 1 million Bitcoin call. So time traveler is hardly a convincing source, but you can see this famous post. He certainly has been broadly correct so far. So if you guys ever seen this the time traveler post, it's real silly, but John McAfee, right? So 5 years ago in 2014 or so, somebody posted on Reddit, says, I am a time traveler from the future, here to beg you to stop what you're doing. I'm sending this message from the year 2025. Why? I don't know. Because there's totally time travel like 6 years from now. Who knows? Things are looking bleak here, and some of you will kill your blood on your hands. If you don't believe me, please move on, as I have no way to prove to you who I really claim to be. I know you don't. I don't want to waste any of your time. So anyway, the bulk of the message is, on average, every year so far, the value of Bitcoin has increased by a factor of 10, from $0.1 in 2010 to $1 in 2011, to $10 in 2012, $100 in 2013. From now on, there's a slight slowdown as the value increased by a factor of 10 every 2 years. 1,000 in 2015 to 10,000 in 2017, which is just totally false. It was 20,000. And I think if anybody actually came from the future and they wanted to say what the price was, everybody knows the price in 2017 was like, depending on your exchange, everybody just averages it out, $20,000. It was just incredibly huge. It went from 1,000 to 20,000 in a year, and then dumped back to eventually about $3,200. So, like, people will never forget that, like, what that happened. So that's totally false. But anyway, 100,000 in 2019. Well, we got a long way to go, so it better hurry up for 2019 there, and 1 million in 2021. And then it just goes on with some nonsense. So I'm not the only madman in crypto. Apparently, 1 million prediction by the 2021 by the man who has never been wrong in his predictions, from John McAfee. But I mean, it's saying $10,000 in 2017 is just not, not necessarily. It's just not accurate. I don't think anybody would forget that. So, but it's still kind of a nice thought. And there is also somebody who's really, really correct on 4chan. And so if McAfee and his time traveler pal are correct, who is really in trouble? The Winklevoss twins trawling through the rambling Reddit post, you get to unearth the following gem. What happened to the Winklevoss twins? The Winklevoss twins were among the first to die. Somebody asked him because the time traveler insists that, like, anybody that holds crypto in the future, it's so valuable that people will murder you for it. So after seeing the enormous damage done to the fabric of society because it crashed, he says that no banks exist, and even central banks stopped producing money at that point, and that crypto is so explosive that nobody uses money, and it's like a big problem in the future in 2025. So just 6 years from now, which I don't know, it's funny. So they were the first to die. After seeing enormous damage under the fabric of society, terrorist movements emerged that sought to hunt down and murder anyone known to have a large balance of Bitcoin or believed to be responsible in any way for the development of cryptocurrency. Oh, cryptocurrency. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. This is actually like a real article. This is a real article. John McAfee actually like referencing this article. This is a real thing. But yeah, welcome to crypto, guys. So another thing I wanted to show you real quick. This is just Reddit real quick. And this was on CNBC. And somebody says CNBC have gone overboard. Is this what crypto mainstream looks like? And this honestly is a good thing for crypto, to be totally honest. When it's on mainstream TV like this, and like people that don't really get into crypto, like might actually be watching this. So it's just, good publicity is good publicity, I suppose. So listen to this and hear. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's true.
By the way, Ether up 220% this year, and Litecoin, or off its lows in December, Litecoin's up 440%. Woo! By the way, there's a reason why sell the house, sell the car, sell the kids, buy Litecoin. By the way,
sell the car, sell the house, sell the kids, buy Litecoin. Why not? I can't disagree with that. Don't sell your kids though, or your car. Or your house, but buy Litecoin. I can agree with that one. So again, like I was saying, you can see this is a really small picture for anybody watching here. Is it it's just like this group of people who overall have no idea what they're talking about, and every time it comes up a new pump, this will be on crypto Reddits and forums and stuff, and they're just always like, well, I don't know what's going on with these cryptocurrencies, these bitcoins, but it's up 42%. Like, what do you guys think? And they're like, I don't know. So it's just totally pointless to watch, but at the very least, he's like, buy Litecoin. Fair enough. Can't disagree so much with that. So moving on to CoinMarketCap, $279 billion market cap. God, I remember just a few months ago making videos and making a video with the Star Trek alarm because we were nearly under $100 billion market cap. And here we are, almost back to $300 billion. Amazing. So we've come full circle, essentially, and we're just going up, up, up. So if you missed out on that opportunity to buy Bitcoin at 3,200, I'm sorry, but hey, it's 8,700. And when you buy at 8,700 and it goes up back to 20,000, 30,000, 55,000, again, there is a official, remember, this is a real time traveler here. So $100,000 in 2019, right? This is guaranteed. I mean, don't mind the totally wrong $10,000 in 2017, right? This is a time traveler, and he knows what he's talking about. So what's the difference if you bought at 3,200 or 8,700 when it goes to $100,000, right? Just a few $1,000s. Because time travelers. Totally real. But we are up all over the place. You can see even Bitcoin SV still pumping 92%. This is what happened with Calvin. And I honestly think, so that's going to dump super bad, but I honestly think that, the developers like Craig Wright and Nchain, etc., CoinGeek, also pump their own Bitcoin SV to make it look good. So they come out strategically with these articles. Like the one article was Craig Wright files for a copyright on Bitcoin, which literally anybody can do. Like anybody can actually do that. You just fill out paperwork, you pay a fee to the American Copyright whatever office, and you can do that. Like you'll just be on the list of people until something is proven, that it removes all the other people. They literally just categorize everybody. They just throw everybody in the database when you apply. And that raised the price of BSV. And then, I think at the same time, they're like, okay, we're going to put out this article that he filed for copyright, and he did, and then we're going to pump it, and at the same time, everybody's going to see this. They're going to see the good news. They're going to see the pump price, and they just put their own money into it. And then they do the same thing. Let's put out this fake article. Let's get Calvin Ayre. Because here's the thing, this woman is just sitting here listening to this guy say that all of the market cap of Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin are going to go into Bitcoin SV. I urge you to watch this article. And the mainstream media, this is Bloomberg, and they're sitting there and giving this guy a platform to say this. And I'm not saying she should be banned from that, but she's extremely naive and just going, great, and you think it's going to take all the market cap? Is it going to be that easy? Oh yeah, eventually, because it scales, and Bitcoin doesn't, So it's just extremely naive. How did Calvin get on here in the first place? Why not the developers of Verge? Why not Vitalik Buterin? Why not Ripple? Why BSV is what I'm saying. Why, out of all the cryptocurrencies, it's just He clearly weaseled his way onto the air and then, clearly started pumping it. So, there is money to be made in Bitcoin SV if you buy into it. But yeah, it's don't believe it's the real Bitcoin. It's just not the real Bitcoin. Can it possibly be better than Bitcoin? Possibly, yes. But again, if you want a better coin than Bitcoin for like transactions and lower fees and stuff, look at all these coins that are all probably overall better. So it's not like you have to land on Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin SV because it has Bitcoin in the name. That makes no sense. There are plenty of other coins. Litecoin is way better. Ripple in some ways is better for that if you don't care about the centralization. So I'm not like trying to support these other cryptocurrencies by saying that, but what I am saying is that it is fairly arbitrary for you to choose Bitcoin SV over something else. And just plain wrong if you want something that has extremely low fees and extremely fast. There's just better options is all I'm saying. Like, it's weird that you land on Bitcoin SV and you say this is the real Bitcoin. No, like, Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. I don't know. People don't seem to get that. I think people just argue that Bitcoin SV and Bitcoin Cash is a real Bitcoin. And they just jump around because at first it was Bitcoin Cash that is the real Bitcoin. Everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin SV comes along and people are just like, oh, let's just jump ship and go on to Bitcoin SV. It's the real Bitcoin. No, it's not. It's just not the real Bitcoin. I think people are just bag holders and they can't admit it. And they can't admit it because if you're just going around on Twitter going, well, I know that Bitcoin SV isn't the real Bitcoin, but I just want to make money. And, that's not going to make you money, right? You have to keep up the facade no matter what, even if there's blatant evidence against what you say. As long as you keep pushing that facade, that narrative, the price is going to go up because of the positive tweets going out and things like that. So really, it's just it's a Game of Thrones. Hate to use that reference because the last season, oh god, it was so bad. 7 was pretty bad too. But either way, that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video. That helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. But hope you all enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.